Hey there, in this video I'm going to show you how voting works in Ludi. Voting is great for making group decisions quickly, such as which topics to discuss in the retro, or which features in the roadmap the team think are worth bringing forward. First thing to do if you want to hold a vote is to make sure on your board that you are in meeting mode. So to do that, click on Start Meeting if you haven't already. This changes the left toolbar and gives you collaboration tools, one of which is the voting tool. To set up a voting round, click on the voting tool, and in the bottom left, you'll see the Start Voting Round button. Clicking on this gives you the options or parameters for the voting round that you want set up, including allow duplicate voting, allowing people to vote more than once on a single item, and how many votes you want to give to each person. I suggest capping this. The number is up to you, but for this instance, I'm going to go for 5. Okay, and with the voting round set up, I now have a crosshair on my mouse with the voting tool equipped, and I can start to vote on sticky notes. So I'm going to add some sticky notes to the board, and I've asked my colleagues to also come and add some votes as well. We've got 5 each, and so you can see, you just click distribute a vote and you'll see a purple one appear. You can see my colleagues voting as well. Let's add double there. And now I've used up all 5 of my votes. You can see that we've all used up our votes, and we can now see the results. Okay, so to see the results of the voting round, instead of having to manually count it up, go back down to the voting widget in the bottom left, click on View Voting Results and Show Rank by Object. This shows you some handy medallions on top of the winning sticky notes, so that got the most, then second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, giving you your most voted or your priority order. If during the session you had grouped your sticky notes into topics, you can also see the vote rankings per topic. So I'll just show you what that looks like. You can that there are 2 topics on these. That these stickies were about our goals and these stickies were about releases. So if I change the ranks to by topic, you can see now that there were 8 votes in this topic and there are 5 votes in this topic. So this was number 1 and this was number 2. And if your team have voted across sticky notes across the board, you'll see the results there. Okay, that's it for voting. In this second half, I'm going to show you some advanced tips and management of voting and some additional features that you can use alongside voting. So the first option is if you want to make your voting process anonymous, so if you want to hide where everyone voted, you can click as the host into the host controls at the top and you can turn on hide identities. This makes everyone anonymous. You can see the participant list has changed. People get bags over their heads, so you don't know who they are. And if they were to vote during this session, the votes cannot be tied back to these people. Everything you do during anonymous mode is kept anonymous. Just make sure to turn it off when you want to go back to a regular session. So I've turned it off there. If you want to see where people have voted or who the totals are, on a sticky note, let's close off the ranks, you can click on the vote numbers to see who voted on each of those. Or if you want to see the votes per person, go into the spotlight in the avatars in the top right and change, this is the objects I've created, change this to votes. So you can see that I voted on these 3 items. If I move across to Stephen Whitfield, he's voted on these items, and Stephen Mosley's voted on these ones. You can also vote on other object types. So you can vote on not just stickies, but also index cards and task cards. So these have a title and a body. The index cards are great for writing more than fits on a sticky note. And the task cards also have a title and body, but they're similar to the sticky and smaller. You can choose to vote on those, so I'll just show you a start a new round. Vote on these, you'll see it appear in a very similar fashion to the sticky notes. If at any point you want to remove a vote, just right click where you have voted previously. And you can see the vote count reduces and there's a little hover up there. So I now have my 2 votes back and I can put them somewhere else. You can export the voting data from your board. If you right click anywhere on the board and click export, from the whole board, I'm exporting the stickies. You can add the votes and the votes by user. So if I add votes and votes by user column, you can see the sticky notes where we have voted in the data here. So total votes 2, 1 by that person, 1 by that person. This data can be exported to CSV or a table, Markdown or JSON to use in your other work tools. So that's it on how to run a voting round in Ludi. See you in the next video.